All right. So starting with the flows, price was coming down all day, but then into the close we had a little pop. Calls were flat into the middle of the day and then started to rise. Puts were grinding up all day, all the way into the end of the day, up to 80 million with a little sell off into the close. Um, but there definitely is some call buying here. Price kept going down, and there definitely was call buying. So yeah, makes sense that we had a pop already. Maybe we'll have another one. Tide was bearish all day. Not much else to say there. Dow Jones, not a lot of premium, but there was some positive calls while price was going down, but puts were up too. Saw off in the puts into the end of the day, and we got the bounce. Makes sense. Russell calls were kind of grinding flat-ish, but positive, with puts basically oscillating up and down until the end of the day where they spiked about 20 million out of nowhere. So still overall bearish. Maybe that means they're either accumulating a low until we get the sweep, or there's going to be bounce, and then we're going to dump into the and get the sweep of the low. Qs calls were being sold with price matching price basically all day. Puts were sold too though, but then puts came back up after into the middle of the day and made a higher low and then spiked back up. But we're still negative, so not too much there. So yeah, if anything, there could be a bounce. We'll see. I don't know though. We'll have to check out price action. Um, let's go. All right. Let's make sure we mark out our levels. Excuse me. All right. So nothing on the daily, at least internal. 4 hour, we did have, our value gap here. 4 hour. Looks like we had a 4 hour traded to here on YM, and it looks like it got respected. So maybe we are just going lower. Same thing. Looks like on everything else. Also, sort of an inversion there. All right. So yeah, it looks like everybody traded to the inversion fair value gap area on 4 hour. Yeah, nice inversion there. We're also kind of not really respecting it. Yeah, we have the S&T and the time frame. Let's keep these all influenced a bit more. All right, on the 1 hour, um, did we come up to premium? Nope, doesn't look like it. Did it on anything? Mine would have been the one. Uh, actually, maybe. Nope. Um, 1 hour we did get. We didn't get a market structure shift, but yeah, not much to say on the 1 hour. Just displacing. We do have some displacement here. But yeah, it's basically. I mean, there's one there. Russell too. Mine as well. Oh, oh, never mind. All right, 15 minutes. Now we can look at the levels. So what happened yesterday? We got the S&T. We expanded lower. We didn't really get any that I noticed any S&T, at least in the morning. I didn't look at the PM session. Maybe we got something in the PM session. Oh, it looks like we did. We got Russell. Give a nice S&T. Nothing else really did. And then we grinded lower. Everybody made lower lows. Lower lows. Market low here. And then we bounced. We got a nice 15-minute market structure shift. Failed over this. Excuse me, it's high. We rejected the 4 hour to the downside. London came up, took out Asia. Everybody took out Asia. We so this is the new week opening gap. So everybody came into the new week opening gap besides Russell, so that's interesting there. Yeah, we got some T and the deep root trace. Maybe that's like maybe that's the like internal range manipulation, whatever it's called, they do. But yeah, we haven't met the objective yet. We've come very deep on a higher time frame. We've definitely created a market structure shift, created another one, and now we're just at the low. Came back up. It looks like we want the low. So probably tricky day. Don't really have very clear bias. We're all below the true day open. We all accumulated after Asia. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution type of a look. Maybe we're doing a reaccumulation. Maybe we want to go higher. I would ideally want to short this again, but I would wait for London to either be taken out by something or even, that's probably enough, but we could even come up to the prior PM session, but I doubt that. If we're going to take out London, though, we actually might do that. Let me make sure I got this. Thank you. Well, we do have a new day opening gap here. We've already traded. So, yeah, we all kind of, we took out smooth highs, came up into the higher time frame area, smooth highs, rejected that on YM, rejected that on ES, rejected that on NASDAQ. We did have S&T into London here, into the London high from 3 o'clock, 3:45, with NASDAQ manipulating higher. And then now we're getting some delivery. There's no shifting on the 15 minute. That's very clear, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're bullish or anything. Yeah, it just looks like we're gonna go down. Russell took out the low. So Russell made a lower low, nothing else has. So we still need to wait a while for any sort of Russell long. Dang it. Okay. We had another S&T here. So here's S&T in London. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So this makes sense. Then we get another S&T YM. Now hitting lower. Everybody's heading lower there. So yeah, just seems like we're gonna go for the lows. So probably wait for the open. Lows overall bearish. Still with that huge bear day still probably. There was some bullish close happening. Question is, was it for a small hop then lower, or lower and lower now and accumulation long has begun? Which SMT am I looking for? Well, I'd want to see. Alright, I have an alert there. I want to see Q's and SPY take out this discount and the 2024 low, possibly. You've already had Dow Jones do that. Russell's still in this high time frame order block. Would be interesting if YM takes out this low again. That might be another long. If YM sweeps these lows and we get SMT, that may actually be a long, yeah. Specific. It's probably gonna go for this one. I'd want to see. We had ES and SPY SMT. Nope, we just had NASDAQ SMT. So yeah. Phew, gosh. So maybe we'll get the same thing. We'll get Dow Jones to break this low again, SPY to also break the low, and then we'll just get another SMT long. I don't know. But I would definitely need to wait for the open for that and need to see some bullish low since there hasn't really been just a little bit. Just because we might just be already just headed down either way and tagging along. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I mean, if we're gonna go down right now, definitely need to hit this 2024 low. SPY is much further away from that though, so this is why this is kind of interesting. So maybe Nasdaq is gonna maybe, I don't know, decouple here a bit or something. I don't know. But I should just be looking for a short still. We still have this target here. So I'm hoping we pop up before the open. We have some SMT here. We had that YM manipulation, which worked. So, and now we have YM kind of already delivering lower. I don't know. There's just nothing there for me yet, honestly. Nothing yet. Need to see a nice bounce or a new setup form at the lows. Let me take that. Maybe we get a big bounce above the London highs before the lows, and that would mean for a NQ S&P higher. Yes. Otherwise, nothing super clear to me on how to trade this. No news. Yeah, so far rejecting that 4 hour. Nothing. Hmm. Maybe I'm discounting spare flow too much. Here we had this manipulation higher. We just came above the true day open. And it's 8:30. Line is making a lower low. Nasdaq's making higher low. But oh, and we just took out London low. Okay, so yeah, we just took out London low. And now we have somewhat of a bullish looking S&T. But I wouldn't play this internal range. Did this really bounce? Well, we did set up a fair value gobble looking setup. Not perfect. Yeah, not perfect. But order block, relative equal lows, S&P at a key level. But then we're fighting really bearish looking ones. I don't know. It could bounce, but I just don't. There's no key level with S&P from this low, is there? Besides Russell. Which maybe is significant since Russell was actually much stronger during this manipulation, and now it's delivered to the low, and now we're getting a lower. Yeah, we took out all that liquidity. It would actually make sense for YM to take out this low, and then we had S&P there. That would actually be kind of interesting. And Russell was pretty bearish, but it looks like we're going to open up bearish, so we'll see. This is too unclear for me. Like that pop. I wanted this pop to happen now, but it happened last night, and now we're back down. So maybe there's another pop. There's an S&T here right at 8:30. Right at 8:30. Everybody's taking out London low though, so that's not significant anymore. The only significant thing is that we've made S&T into 8:30. We've made S&T into 8:30. Is that enough? Honestly, I would think that YM would take this low. Because now there's no change in character. It's just a, I guess, Russell's been weaker on the higher time frame. Yeah, maybe this is going to trigger a bounce though. Maybe it's worth just risking a really small size if we get that little change in character there, but we're already at 840, so small time frame failures to displace lower, but high time frame looking bearish still. And let me actually look at something. If we look at Qs, we had no clear direction there, but if we look at SPY did have those calls come up, but it looks like they were for later. So it does look like they're accumulating for later. Okay, that answers my question. What else was confusing? Let's look at IWM as well. Calls up all day. What's Austin? Oh wow, yeah. So this was all for, looks like OPEX possibly. We boom, boom, boom. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, they sold. Oh, it is pretty bullish then. But for Friday, we get rid of Friday, and it's pretty bearish. Okay. Yep, I think that answers my question. So yeah, both lows were not for a bounce right now. Maybe some, this little pop. But it looks like these were for further out, possibly Friday. Hold on, I forgot what SPY was. And for Friday. Let me look at, let's see, 9th, 10th, 11th. Yeah, so bullish lows for Friday, and then even more for maybe OPEX. QQQ. Slightly bearish, but not a ton of premium. Okay. Alright. Well, there was still that pop in the calls into the end of the day. That's the only confusing part. data bearish. Look for a long idea if we take lows, shorts if we want higher or lower. Alright, yeah, so we're just gonna have to update this. I mean, it seems like maybe that, I mean, there is SMT right at 830, right here, and we are getting a bounce. So, we'll see what happens. Maybe it is gonna bounce, and I am gonna get that short, but we will see. Today might have to be a day of just sort of being patient until we take out key level and get SMT. So, yeah, London high, or we go lower. So, we'll see. Maybe Trump's gonna say something this morning. But, yeah. Alright. That is the plan. Wait, relative equal highs and lows. Didn't really look for those. We just have smooth highs on the London range, so that's why I'm thinking that could be a play.